So we all love transforming robots. Some of us even love transforming robots that are made out of Lego bricks. I have here today a guest that is working right now on a Lego Ideas transforming robot line using Lego bricks. It's the Fight and Flight Micro Mecha line that is being done by Erik Mullins here. And we have Erik Mullins with us today, and he's going to tell us about this transforming mecha robot line that some of us might even be interested in. So, Erik, take it away.
Thanks, Daniel. Hey, everybody. My name's Erik. Oh man, where to begin? Uh, Growing up, like in the late 80s, early 90s, I watched all those mecha animes, all those mecha, even American cartoon shows, Exo Squads, everything. Growing up with Lego as well, I always tried to build my own Lego robots and mechs, and I was always like into building these giant robots that I could put like my minifigures in and have them piloting in it, and I always thought that was really cool. And as you know, time kind of moves forward, years 2000, 2005, where do you put all these giant Lego constructions? So I started to like slowly become smaller and smaller and make these little micro build mechs. And I love to make my things superposable and with the smallest amount of detail or pieces, but that will have the biggest impact on like the construction of things like that. So basically, I would like spend years trying to like perfect building these like fully articulated robots. Like sometimes you could put in like a little teeny pilot in them, and or it would be like a body armored suit for like a Lego minifigure or something like that. And Several years ago, I had worked for the Lego company as a brick specialist, and while I was there, like I would always be like in the back around like that pick a brick section where people can, this like a huge wall that looks like a candy wall where you just fill up your bin with all like these different bricks, and usually people just aimlessly just fill that stuff up with whatever, and then sometimes you've got like the real pros coming in filling in exactly the pieces they want to build their constructions. And I would usually build little robots out of these pieces, and I not a day would go by where after I build that robot I would set it next to like all these bins, and then like somebody would grab a cup, fill it with all the same kind of pieces, and then put the robot in this cup, and then they would leave with it. And even my boss at one point would be like, Erik, we need you to make more of these little robots because we're selling the wall like crazy. And I'd be like, all right, man. So I'd build all these different ones. So after like a couple of years of just building all these little robots all the time, um, I thought it would be awesome to make my own Lego Ideas line. Like for years, I've been wanting to do a Lego Ideas concept, and I thought it'd be cool to like give everybody the chance to buy one of these like all constructed with instructions and everything, and like they come with so many pieces here. Like I've got three little robots in this set, and they're all averaging around 100 bricks each per robot, and that's an awful lot of bricks for something that's so small. Like it's about a minifigure and a half in height, so it's pretty short. And they can move like their arms, their shoulders, the heads, the knees, the feet, like everything. And at one point, because I've seen like there's other people online that build these micro mechs and they make these cool battle scenes and everything like that. And I wanted to build one that could transform because I had seen some people make transforming ones online that were really massive, but never a micro build that could do something like that. And so I worked like really hard, like I would say like a whole week on just trying to build a frame that could transform like fluidly from like a robot into a plane or like a vehicle kind of helicopter-y style mode. And when I say helicopter, I mean like future anime retro cyberpunk style helicopters. There's no actual blades on it. It's just got like that kind of little shape of like the helicopter cab. And so I finally built my armature that could transform and everything, and I can't stress this enough. It doesn't part form. I I've got nothing against part forming. I love the concept of being able to take pieces apart and stick them on. And, like I build Lego, and I've got a bunch of Transformer toys and Macross toys and like collectibles, like a bunch of this stuff, and a lot of it part forms. I'm okay with it. However, I just wanted that old retro feeling from like older generation toys where it was all one piece that you would go through it. And so, like I built my models to that. The only parts forming that you're going to see in these robots is literally just the weapons. Like you'll pull the weapon from underneath the like the bottom of the plane or maybe the top of it of the helicopter or wherever it is. It's like the only thing that you're taking off. The rest of it's all like a pretty fluid transformation. For my colors too, I wanted them to be as retro as possible. Like everything I built is really an homage to all those older cartoons, like I had said earlier. So I mean, like even like the names that I gave some of these items, or created like background stories for some of like the pilots, I kind of went all out. Like usually when you go on Lego Ideas, you'll have just like a couple pictures and then an explanation underneath, and I wanted mine to feel like one of those like 90 commercials with explosions in the background. So I used really retro colors, and I called it something ridiculous, Fight and Flight Micro Mechas. Like something that like you would picture micro machines themselves would build, like just ridiculous. And I gave them all those neon colors and names to things that were like kind of homages or basically parodies of things that already existed from multiple different anime series. Like I'm not gonna name them. Like I figure it's kind of fun for those of you that when you go on the site you can see the names of everything and some of the loadouts and the weapons, and some of you will know all of them and some of you will just know half of them, and it's just to know that everything here has been like a mashup of multiple different ideas from things over the years that were all like beloved within certain fandoms that people really obsess over, and I myself.
Well, the first thing I want to point out, which is impressive itself that you mentioned, is the fact that they're self-contained transformations, because the Transformer brand themselves in the past has done two separate attempts at Lego brick-like kind of transforming lines. They did the BTR line in 2003, I want to say, and then they did, of course, Creo in 2010, and both of those, when they had their larger builds, in order to make them go from one mode to the other, they had to be taken apart completely and put back together. They weren't done into traditional self-contained transformer thing. So the fact that yours is able to transform without having it to be taken completely apart is pretty impressive, considering that Hasbro themselves on two different attempts was not able to do that. So that's pretty cool.
It's really hard to do. I've seen larger builds of people that have pulled this off, and they're incredible, but the amount of bricks is through the roof. So when you have something that transforms, you need like flat, smooth paneling and stuff like that, maybe like one stud to be able to make sure this piece stays in place. And so you're looking at like a lot of ingenuity, but at the same time, when it's bigger like that, like the piece count just keeps going up. And when you're going to sell something on Lego Ideas, let's say I made like a giant Optimus Prime. That Optimus Prime would be like thousands of bricks. So what would the price point be on this Lego Ideas set? Where usually you got to kind of think, okay, well, usually Lego Ideas sets, it's rare they'll go over like a 600 piece count. Very rare. It happens. It's just not that often because it's not a full set that they're making. It's only one individual piece to be like, hey, somebody made this. So like, I guess that's kind of where it helped me making it so small, is because most of my pieces are flat little panels that all snap together. So everything, I don't know, like because it's smaller, I just had less issues in that regard. But again, I don't know how to explain it. It was really hard to get it together, man. It took me like a few weeks to do that.
Well, it also makes smart from a marketing standpoint, because Lego's always looking to do smaller polybag stuff, I would imagine, and it's something that the Kuso or the Ideas subline really has had only so many slots out there in retail. And I mean, if they find a way to have smaller product out there, as opposed to, let's say, their DeLorean, or like when they did the Big Bang Theory one, like all those stuff are like mid-size to larger size boxed product, correct? So if they could do something that's a little more smaller and affordable, that's part of this subline that they've had for years now, it's also something that's beneficial to them, because it's a different peg to be hanging on at Walmart as opposed to just taking space in one spot. So it makes sense. It's smart, and I like what I see here. I like it a lot. It's a lot of good homages to stuff from various different levels, even on a visual standpoint. Like I look at some of these, and you can make comparisons to certain Transformer characters in terms of colors. Whether it be a Thundercracker or Knockout from Transformers Prime, or a Pat Labor from something else which is not Transformer related. But I see a lot of stuff that I enjoy here, and it's pretty cool.
That was definitely my intent. Like even the blue and orange one, like for the front window being orange and everything, like I was really trying to be inspired by the helicopters from Bubblegum Crisis for the police. I love the look of those helicopters, and I was like, oh, I've got to do something that kind of has that vibe. Because it wasn't just in Bubblegum Crisis where you'd see helicopters like that. Like, even in Ghost in the Shell, there'd be helicopters that are similar. Like, it's kind of like it was that style at the time in the late 80s where they were like, in the future, all helicopters are going to look like this.
Yeah, like the the VTOLs or whatever they're called there, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
yep.
but this is really cool. This is really cool. I really dig this a lot. And so how would people be able to find this? Because obviously in order for this pretty much to happen is these individuals would have to go to the Lego Ideas website, be a logged in member, of course. So I suggest people sign up and just hit that support button. How would they be able to do that exactly?
Well, just like you said, super easy.
Yeah.
And everything's free. And it literally takes like a minute to sign up. So the way you got to see it is that it takes you less than a minute to sign up and do this. And if this thing can get backed for 10,000 supporters, then it gets put under a review. And if it passes review, then they're going to start actually putting it into publication. So they'll make it and they'll send it out to all their stores. And that would be so amazing. I know it sounds like kind of funny saying something like this, but I designed these not only for all the people when I used to work back in the day at Lego to get something like this, but for myself as well. Like a lot of the pieces that I use in here are very small, very precise pieces that you could buy multiple sets and not have enough to build one of these robots. So I would always go out and hunt pieces like this just so I could build them. So getting a set that comes with so many, I mean, you could literally get a set like this, swap out all the white parts on one of the bots, and then change it for all orange ones if you wanted, and then maybe change the head a bit, and bam, you've got your own mech. Like, well, that's cool.
That's what kind of interested me when I saw this, is because I was like, this is something that a lot of Transformer fans would be very attracted to. I know a lot of Transformer fans that sometimes they're not attracted to Lego because they like stuff that's more self-contained. They like the idea of creating stuff and converting stuff, but they sometimes feel that Lego just doesn't meet what they want. And I've used to say in the past on the podcast for listeners, I've said if you like Transformers, Bionicles might be your jam or something, but it's just there's something here for a Transformer fan. And like you mentioned before, how you could swap out colors and stuff. I mean, I could see you doing all the Seeker jets, from this Unit 1 rollout. Pretty much, you could do it in Thundercracker's colors, Skywarp colors, Starscream colors. It just looks really good. I really like what I see here. And not to mention even the hangar. The hangar is pretty cool too that you show at the end here.
Oh, the hangar. I completely forgot to mention the hangar. So once I built these 3 robots, I had it all ready. I took some pictures, sent them out to Lego Ideas, and then I immediately retracted having sent it out, and I was like, I need to build a hangar. Because, I mean, watching things like Gundam or Pat Labor, like you had mentioned, or, I mean, even Bubblegum Crisis where they would put the hard suits. I know, those are, relatively, they're just, armored suits. It's not really robots. But the point is that they always had really cool hangars to put these bots in. And I was like, I have to build a hangar that's got little arms that can actually hold on to them. And I really wanted these robots to be to scale with Lego's nano figures. Imagining that the nano figure that you can get in Lego could, fit in there. Unfortunately, within the transformation, I really tried, but you can't fit one in there. It's just because it transforms and everything, there is no way to put one in there. But the fact is that I would like the set to come with 3 of these little nano figures. So that way it kind of you can kind of set them around the hangar, and I don't know. I just love the idea of a hangar.
It's pretty cool. It looks like, because you have clearly connector ports at the bottom of your hangar, so you could buy multiple of them and kind of build a whole inventory of these guys.
That was my thought exactly, Daniel, man. I made it so that you could exactly, let's say you buy 3 of this set, you could get 3 hangars and plug them all side by side. And I even put connector pieces in the back. So let's say you have a bunch of pieces or you want to build your own type of hangar, you could add connector pieces to put things back to back as well, because I thought that would be really cool too. So I tried to make this whole set where you get, I'm giving you the pieces to the puzzle, and then if you want to completely mod it, change it, add to it, it's super easy to do, and you'll have the parts necessary to do it, because again, finding these small micro pieces is near impossible in just 1 or 2 sets. You have to get a lot of different sets to be able to pull them. And it's years and years of collecting Lego that I managed to pull out, making a small handful of ones like these. I could only build these 3 transforming ones with every piece that I own, and I have a lot of Lego.
So any closing statements do you want to say beforehand, and we'll send everyone off to go support this?
Yeah, sure. For all of you that love transforming mechs and micro builds, and even if you're not a big fan of Lego, I'm pretty sure that the aesthetic and the design could appeal to you. Please support this. And for those of you that already have, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You know, like this is a labor of love, and it's something that, like I said, I'm doing it for myself a lot as much as I'm doing it for the community. So I thought that was really fun.
So once again, if you're interested in supporting this and seeing more information about it, I'll put the link in the description below and in the comments. And of course, it'll be on all the social media stuff. Again, Lego Ideas, Flight Micro Mecha by Erik Mullins. So be sure to check that out.